stream and he found out that the person was trans or something.
Oh,
and
Transformer and all that shit, yeah.
Yeah, Transformer, and you, oh my god, you made it a big deal. Look at him using
It's
the word
funny,
Transformer,
yeah, because
blah,
if
blah.
that shit happened in any white streamer's chat, the whole fucking internet
That's
would be
jokes.
losing their
No,
mind
the
on
fuck
it.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
no,
they.
the
Are you
fuck
serious?
No, wallahi, no. Come on. Yeah,
You
now
have
you're
no
the one
idea.
who's playing the card.
Wallahi, you have no
playing the
idea
card.
what you're talking
No,
about. Okay?
wallahi,
It
you're
would
the one
be
who's playing the
fucking
card like
wallahi.
that.
It would be
No,
the-
come
it
on.
would be game
Come on,
over
really?
for a streamer doing that. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Really? First of all, they already receive a whole lot of fucking pushback. The only reason why it doesn't affect them is because the vast majority of their fucking audience is not the typical Pokemon Hasanabi fucking audience, the poggers type niggas that will turn on their fucking people and have their fucking moderators send them a fucking manifesto talking about you can't fucking use the word lit because it's ebonics, right? Their fucking viewership is other black people that don't really care about it. That's why they won't get canceled. The white fucking streamer has an audience that probably would give a fuck about it. So right now, it's not a black or white issue. It's an audience issue. I'm pretty sure if you did Transformer jokes, people would let you slide.
Nick Merckx literally lost like a massive fucking like deal and shit, or I don't know if it was a massive deal, but his skins and shit got removed for like an incredibly minor LGBT tweet.
Okay, and Nick Merckx also literally gained 11,000 subs in a single day the day after that shit happened. It didn't affect him whatsoever. Did he lose the fucking skin bundle with Call of Duty? Yes, but it did not cancel him whatsoever. Not one bit. I don't think you could even use that as a fucking example for cancel culture.
Do you think if XQC started calling trans people Transformers, do you think Hassan would be as gentle on him as he was on fucking Speed or anybody else?
Was he gentle on Speed when he made the fucking racist remarks towards the Asian dude at the World Cup?
When Speed made those remarks, Hassan, I think, spent more time talking about me than fucking Speed. I think he said like one sentence about it. Unless I missed more about it. Unless I missed something else about it. Did I miss
remember
more?
watching. Yeah, I remember him fucking going on and on about the fact that this is racist as fucking, that him being fucking 17 or 18 wasn't an excuse for his racism, and that it's stupid as fucking that he should fucking receive punishment for what he did. 100% he did say that. Now, Hassan is a guy that likes to fucking keep his relationships good with certain fucking big content creators, so he doesn't go super hard on them. And his relationship with XQC is one that is completely different than his relationship with guys like Speed or Kai or them boys. You know what I mean? So obviously, with him, I wouldn't say it's because they're
all
black.
I know is that literally any fucking time I'm anywhere where a single person on fucking Twitter uses a homophobic remark and they put like DGG in their fucking Twitter thing to troll all these retards on Twitter. Every single time, my community gets called out over and over and over and over and over again about, oh, you're racist, you're homophobic, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's by people online too.
Yeah, because there are already people have a preconceived. By the way, your community doesn't help itself with the way that they push themselves out on social media. Number one, with the quote unquote again the edgy humor, which is subjective, which to your community is funny, but to other people is extremely racist, and that's why they can get called out. Number one. Number two, I'm pretty sure even one of your own people like decided to shit on your community. Like the fucking girl, I forgot her name.
Yeah, welcome to having a big community. Yeah, it happens.
So it happens, exactly. It literally happens. It would happen to a big
where
black
is
content
the
creator.
Yeah, where is the big black content creators? Where is their community coming out and being like, oh yeah, like the homophobia in this community is too much?
Find me a fucking single black content creator that has the same type of audience that you do, and I will 100% find an audience that will call them out on it. And they could be black, because black niggas could start acting as liberal as your fucking people do. It's not attached to race. Your problem is you're trying to victimize yourself right now. It's the exact same shit that. What?
Nothing.
No, wait.
So
no. Go ahead and say it.
It's like
go ahead and say it.
No,
how is it tiring? It's because you can't. You know what's so hilarious about you? When you can't engage with something on a fucking intellectual level.
No, the problem is there's no intellectuality to engage with. The problem is you steer with retarded comment after retarded comment after ad hominem after everything you're saying. You're just trying to victimize yourself. I'm not trying to victimize myself. I don't care about victimizing myself. I'm just saying that white content creators are held to a different standard than black content creators, and I think that is de facto true. There is no white content creator on the internet whose chat room I can go into where all I will be spamming or cock or whatever shit like that, or the homophobic shit. Nobody. I don't think there's any white content creator who would do it. They would be destroyed in an instant.
Leafy.
But there are.
Okay.
Leafy, who is fucking banned on every single platform. Yeah, Leafy. It might be one. Okay, sure.
Shining on Rumble right now. Okay, but okay.
Yeah. My point
Fair.
exactly.
Let me say this though. It's a difference. Would you agree that the people, before I make the point that I wanted to make right now, do you agree that the people that are holding white people to that standard is fellow white people?
Sure.
The vast majority of people
but the vast majority of content consumers in media on the internet that do all this shit are white people. So what's your point?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you're
when
just
you
reinforcing
start,
my argument. Yeah, I agree.
okay. So basically, what you're trying to say is, even within black content creator fucking communities, the vast majority of their audience is white. So again, when they spam the fucking F slur and when they start saying crazy shit, it's not art. Look at this. It's black people fucking being cool with it. Obviously, black people would engage in this language. No, it's white people that are cool with it too, because white people could do the fuck
Okay,
shit that
give
you
me,
complain about as well.
is there an example of like black people having logs dug up from like 5 or 10 years ago, like used to cancel them? Does that shit happen? Because to white people, it's what happened to Joe Rogan, it happened to Ms. Kip, it happened to like, how many different white people have like, oh my god, this guy said the fucking A word like 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like this is like almost...
With the F slur, with the homophobic shit, it happens. I am highly confident that shit happens. But the thing is, they don't get canceled because the audience, a lot of the times, the audience that these black content creators build simply don't give a fuck.
Sure,
about that.
and I agree. That's my point, though.
So that's the only difference. Okay, so then we agree, because that's the only difference between your audience and a Bruce type audience. They might be the same demographic, but your audience is soy as fuck, and they would give a fuck if you say certain things, but his audience doesn't, so he lets it fly. Just like your audience.
Hold on, wait. We totally agree then. There's no disagreement here.
Okay, perfect.
But so to be clear though, you just reinforce my argument. You're saying that like the broader audiences that consume, especially white content and shit, like most people won't be cool if white people acted that way because of the white people that are consuming the content. But white people don't hold white people don't hold black content creators to the same level of responsibility because they treat them like retarded children. I agree with you
absolutely,
there.
I absolutely did not say that, and that is a cute attempt to try to act like me and try to paint me in a corner. That's not gonna happen.
I agree with you 100%.
I'll tell you this much: if you had a white content creator that built his brand and built his audience the same way that Blue Sky or Speed did, he would face absolutely no fucking pushback from saying any sort of fucking crazy shit. You know what? This is a shit example, but I'll still fucking use it. Jonathan is running all over the goddamn fucking place saying the N-word, and he's only gaining more and more fucking people. So at the end of the day, if he was
but hold on, wait. But what what communities does he have to flirt with to do that? Where's he going? Who's he talking to?
Red pillars.
Who have, wait, what kind of red pillars?
They happen to be black, sure.
Oh, they happen to be? Neon Sniper
But did you just say that the vast majority of online content creator consumers are white? Didn't you just say that real quick?
Most of them are. Yeah, sure, yes.
Most of the people that he's talking to, even though the content creator that he might be collabing with is black,
those specific communities skew a lot blacker, though, which is why they don't hold those content creators accountable.
Okay,
the white people in the white communities won't go over. Okay, well, listen.
It's still vast majority white.
We'll see, sure. No, I don't know. But hey, listen, we'll see.
You're telling me the vast majority of fucking Fresh and Fit is not white people?
Listen, we'll see it. I bet it actually does skew minority. I bet it does for the majority.
This is insane.
But hey, listen,
when you say skew,
listen. I might be wrong, and maybe in the future we're gonna see a whole bunch of black content creators getting canceled for being transphobic and homophobic. Maybe that'll happen. We'll see what happens, and then I'll be totally wrong.
Let that nigga FD Signifier say some wild shit, even though it's not really that wild, and he will absolutely get canceled because the type of fucking people that he has around him and the type of community that he's built is the type of community that would take him down for saying shit like that. It depends on the community, not on the fucking content creator. And you trying to fucking say black people get away with a lot more stuff because they're simply black is wrong. They get away with it because their audience is just cool with it. And you agree with me. You just want to fucking use the race card because
because I need to victimize myself.
No, because like you said, what was it yesterday? Man, white people are fucking getting dogged on in media, blah blah blah. And you know what? I tend to agree, but it's by other white people. So you niggas are fucking cannibalizing yourselves.
But you just had a black guy in here say, "I didn't make $1 million until I was 20. Then I learned what real racism is." Okay. Like, come on, dude. Come on.
It was that point was cringe. I'm not gonna lie. That point was cringe. But would you say that he probably faced a harder time getting to the position that he did versus a white person, for instance?
I mean, it really depends on the upbringing, right?
Sure, the upbringing.
The thing with minority people is that usually there are barriers that are front-loaded in your life. That tends to be the case. But if you can make it past those barriers, sometimes you have an easier time past that. So it really just depends on the barriers up front, right? That's like the big thing. And the dude
is literally still in the upfront part of his fucking life.
And he's already a millionaire, so he's like, so yeah.
So he did beat the odds, but just because he fucking overly fucking succeeded, doesn't mean that he didn't struggle. And obviously the fucking...
Sure, I'm not saying that he didn't struggle, but I have a hard time believing that this guy fought through all of these racist barriers if he's a millionaire by the time he's 20 years old on fucking Twitch.tv.
Okay, obviously there's this high degree of luck involved. Obviously. there's a very high degree of luck involved.
Sure, but
I'm saying,
do you understand that like there are probably a lot of people I could talk to that I can bring in and ask them about like what are the fucking racist barriers you had to go through in life, and they probably able to talk pretty big on it, right? His example,
black versus white.
His example, no, just a black person in general, especially from a fuck part of the United States, they probably have a lot of shit to speak on. But when his go-to was I got fucked out of multi-million-dollar contracts, no, that's like maybe he did have a lot of racism and he forgot about it, maybe because now he's 22 or whatever. But like, what is his background? I'm curious. But he's not an immigrant, right? Please don't tell me he's an immigrant. Like, what neighborhoods did this guy grow up in? Yeah, sure. Where did he grow up? What was his background like? Tell me.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So don't fucking hold me to this. But I'm pretty sure he came from like a single mom household where the mom like worked like 2 jobs or some shit. Like, I'm pretty sure it's something along those lines. So it's not like he came from a privileged background where life was fucking good and everything was fucking great. And the dude has been fucking streaming since 2013, since he was like fucking 12 years old or some shit. So when I speak of the struggle, I speak of the experience a black person goes through online versus a white person and his fucking background.
Can I just say, like, not to sound like a hater, and I don't mean to sound this, but I acknowledge the same shit for myself, okay? If he's been streaming since he's 12, you probably had an okay life growing up. If you've got access to a computer, to video games, and the internet, and enough free time and a place where you can actually do that, you probably are doing okay.
Don't know about that because there's a whole lot of when I was in
listen what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah, what I'm trying to say is his real name's probably Clarence. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, dude. Okay, shout out Eminem 8 Mile over here. Holy shit. Okay, listen, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say, Lil Steve, I think you guys could have fixed the bridge if GD.
No, I'm not gonna oh wait, no, I'm not fixing any bridge with that guy. He's a piece of shit, and he's a kid. Like, what the fuck?
Wait, but you know, I'm not even gonna do that. Shri, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm fine. Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Carontos, that's wrong in reference to the black on Asian crime. I'm really shocked that you would defend the didn't do's. Because you're usually on the side of like not,
I'm on the side of the truth, basically.
But the truth is, I have the statistics here that shows, and let me read it to you. In 2018, for example, the black on Asian violent crime, not like verbal crime, violent crime was a rate of 275 times higher than the Asian on black rate. Not only is 275% higher, but after those disparities, the FBI stopped reporting on the black on Asian crime to basically cuddle the didn't do's. So to sit up here and say that blacks don't not only disproportionately or even per capita attack Asians in the other way around is like, this just come on. I would expect you to actually be on the side of that type of truth.
No, listen. I know sometimes it seems like I come at my African American
nothing.
brothers,
Me and Julian are cool, but pretty sure.
Listen,
what the hell
this
is
what
African American?
Like you guys.
No, I'm not African American. I'm an American. I have no ties to Africa.
Oh wait, you don't do that stuff.
She means,
like the white ones are European Americans, though.
Wait. What's there's another term that people use sometimes. I forget what it is. There's like for descendant of fucking slavery.
Okay, you have FBA.
African American descendant of slaves. Oh yeah.
Is it ADOS?
I'm an American. Okay. I don't do the hyphenated shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to separate myself to seem special. Okay, that's the difference.
Wait, but Italian Americans do it. Fucking Irish Americans do it. Like, what's wrong with you doing it?
I don't give a what they do. I march by the beat of my own drum. I don't do what other people do. I am an individual type of person, and I don't follow the crowd because most likely they're gonna go to the slaughterhouse. So them, I'm all about me and what I do, and I just let people know I don't go by African American. I'm an American. I have no ties to Africa. And black people are always with this African American shit. They can't even tell you what country in Africa they're from. You can't be a whole motherfucking continent.
Okay, damn. Number one, god damn. No, that's number one. Number two, like, aren't you like a giant? I'm curious.
What does that have to do with anything?
Wait, like, no, you like, wait, every single day you wake up and you, like, your head get to the goddamn roof. Like, that's a sign of your Africanness right there.
I'm only 6'3". I'm only
6'3". Holy
Yeah.
shit. Any man you get with needs to climb you. You know what I mean? And that's a long way up. Like you're big as hell. Like, hey, shout out to all the tall women. You know what I mean? Like, I do like a long, tall cup. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the tall women. But like, you wear your goddamn Africanness. I don't get African Americans that do what you did. Like, I get the part where
what part of Africa am I from?
no, you wouldn't know because you know your history's kind of fucked up because of slavery and
so
shit,
I'm
right?
I'm gonna claim the place where I know and that my ancestors.
Yeah, nobody's telling you not to claim it. Yeah, claim it. I don't got a problem with that, but don't disregard the history.
Let's be clear. It was fucking Africans and the Arabs who sold my ancestors to.
No. Bad take. Let me tell you why that's a bad take. If somebody held a gun to your head right now and said, either take your kids or you gonna give me another nigga's kids.
The African genocide was based upon. No. You know I'm telling the truth. The African genocide was based upon the slave trade that was done by the Arabs, the Islamics. I got the books and I got the historical citations to prove it.
You are in You are in the United States of America. The Muslims didn't get anywhere near you. The slave trade that affected you was the Atlantic slave trade. The transatlantic. That's the one that affected you.
No. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that you have several tribes who were captured after they conquer other African tribes. Okay, let me be specific. You had African tribes conquer other neighboring African tribes, and they would take the women, kill the men, or the ones that they didn't kill, or the children, they would actually sell off in the Atlantic slave trade. Then basically the Arab Muslim was like, hold my goat milk, and they basically dominated the slave trade. And they even fucking caught white women, because white women were the most expensive slaves that they sold. This is
okay. You know this defeats your argument because okay, perfect. They enslaved everybody regardless of race.
Yeah.
The niggas that enslaved your people did it because they wanted black people. That's number one. Number two, the slavery.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me cook real quick. Right, the entirety.
Repeat your first point. I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, in Western Africa, right? The people that came for your people came for the reason of you being different to them. For your blackness, they were like, we're not gonna enslave our own people. We're gonna enslave. No, hold on. The Arabs. No, wait. Let me finish, and then you can correct me, right? The Arabs enslaved everybody, and obviously the Ottomans also. The Ottomans were fucking prolific with that shit as well. But let me tell you this much: when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade, they're the ones that started going out of their fucking way to picking up people, taking them to a whole different continent, and treating them as property in the United States of America. That wasn't done anywhere throughout history. Throughout history, Europeans enslaved each other, Arabs enslaved each other, Chinese niggas enslaved everybody fucking enslaved each other, and even Africans. Just because we're black in Africa doesn't mean we look at each other as one. Different tribes are different fucking people. You might as well be Italian to them niggas. They don't give a just because you're black, right? So if a fucking goddamn enslaver comes through and says, you know what, I will take you, but if you get me your if you get me your enemy, I'll take them. Obviously, you're gonna take that deal. You act as though there was already a fucking thriving trade that was established by black people that was exporting black people out of Africa into Europe without the intervention or the involvement of Europeans coming to Africa first. That's not true. The Europeans were the ones that seeked out the slaves, and if you didn't supply them with the slaves, your people became enslaved. So why the fuck wouldn't I get the fucking dude that's from another tribe that's not my people?
That's bullshit.
It's not bullshit. That is 100% how it happened.
It's not. You're saying. Hold on. Let me rephrase it.
Go ahead.
You're saying that you're saying that the only reason that the Europeans, along with those from South Africa, mainly the south part of South Africa, they only came to Africa to enslave Africans because they're black. Is that what you're saying?
The white people were the first group of people to ever go out of their way. No. I'm giving you a great answer. Yeah, no. Yes. Yes, but let me go on. White people were the first motherfuckers that went to an entire different continent, stole the people there, took them back to their continent, and started using them as property. And I'm talking specifically about the United States in this instance.
They did not steal them, they were sold. They did not
they were sold at gunpoint. You do understand that, right? Sold at
fucking gunpoint. No, they were not. Hold on.
Yes, they were, because if you... I'm not lying.
Hold on, you're just no. Seriously. Let me just say this. You're lying. Listen, white people, and I don't. Destiny, I'm no offense. Okay.
Go ahead, knock
White
yourself out.
people are not. They're not physically strong, and it took a while, because when they would come to Africa, they would fucking die from a goddamn mosquito bite. They would not survive long. So they could not. To sit up here and say that
when you have superior goddamn technology and you got guns and shit, you don't need to worry about staying for long. Alright, my bad. Go on. Shit, my bad. Go on.
Okay. To sit up here and say, okay, Carantos, how many white people you think was on those ships?
Trust me, they didn't need many. When they took over the goddamn, I don't know, like some
Give me a number. Why you don't answer my question?
He usually answers the questions and pivots. That's usually what he does. That's just how he.
I don't pivot. I just add extra information to your question. But you you literally cannot prove. Wait, hold on. You literally cannot prove anything that you're saying. You cannot prove any. You're going off of your feelings alone. Of course, I can prove it. There's fucking historians that agree with. What the f are you saying? There's historians that agree with me.
Did I not DM you an actual FBI statistics to prove Caranto was lying out of his mouth in reference to the black?
I'm telling you right now.
Like
in
10 people that, I'm pretty sure that's why.
Commit more hate crimes against Asians than black.
Receipts, and all you doing is goddamn talking shit. So if you ain't coming with no goddamn receipts, to shut the up.
Okay, now hold on. No. Now you're the one who's fucking playing the pivot game, because right now we're talking about the Atlantic slave trade and the fucking Arabian slave trade, and now you're gonna go back to the original fucking point, which I didn't fucking concede, because I know the statistics that I goddamn read.
Ain't no nigga. He's a nigga who's all this.
Whoa. Don't you call me a nigga and you are an African American woman. Don't do that. She just called me a nigga and dipped.
Ayla, what's up? What's up?
Wait, is she single? Before you speak to somebody else, is she single?
Why are you asking me this?
I'm just curious. Is she single?
She can answer if she wants.
Oh my god, yes or no? Hook her brother up. Golly.
Destiny, you abandoned your child to go play StarCraft in Miami. You left your decisions. All they do is criticize my.
Really trying to collect social clout from both.
Stop leeching off Aiden. Okay, fine. If you don't want, I'm not gonna leech off Aiden, bro. He was the one talking about me in full sentence, lying about me. So, okay, but Destiny has been coping ever since he lost the debate against Nick, and this is a meme about me he found from his Discord. Probably found it while he was debating. Looking through his Discord for moral support, but he says fresh and fit, fuck women.
I love the looking through his Discord for moral support. When one, I don't even use my Discord. I could be charitable to him and say DGG chat. But two, I don't really do it with DGG chat either. He's projecting from him because that's what he does. He'll go through his Discord being like, guys, give me a meme. Guys, can you do this? He had Fuentes like on Telegram, like tweeting out his shit. Like he's like posting stuff like in his Discord, like asking for likes and retweets and shit. Like it's funny that that's actually what he does. But yeah.
I mean, thanks guys, you gave me lots to think about. Andrew Tate converting to Islam to beat the Matrix in these charges. Thanks, Andrew, you gave me lots to think about. Nick, you know the are behind us being canceled. Thanks, Nick, you gave me a lot to think about. Now I'm dressed as a Muslim. Before that, I dressed like Miami guy. Then Zerka, the Freemasons don't want you to know the earth is flat. And then I said, thanks, Zerka, you gave me lots to think about. And I'm wearing a hat with an X crossed over the...
House, wait.
And then Jesse Lee Peterson, amazing. Thanks, Jesse, you gave me lots to think about. Now I'm a conspiracy theorist because Zerka... So basically, they're like making a joke saying I'm impressionable. Ryan says, do you talk to Romo CEO? Yeah, we've talked about him. And so I responded, I said, now draw the one where Destiny tells me to abandon my son to play StarCraft in Miami.
Bomboka!
Because, and this is the reason I took it like kind of personal. I've avoided this topic because, you know, it's very sensitive to talk about fatherhood stuff. But like the guy, that's what he did, you know? That's what he did. So what really bothers me when these people get on their moral high ground about other...
So like, again, to reiterate, get on their moral, none of this is like on a moral high ground. I'm just criticizing his ideology. I don't know like what, unless we want to take like the sense of like everything is moral, or like if you criticize a person's political positions or make fun of them for like copying people, that's like a moral high ground, I guess. I don't know.
Other people, especially like the leftists, they'll always play the moral high ground thing because that's what leftism is. It's thinking that they're better.
And then this too, and now he webs to reinforce like because he doesn't really have ideas about me, or he's scared to engage with what I say, or he can't. I might like intellectually be at a level that he like can't access, right? So now it's just like, Destiny, leftists think this thing and it's really bad, and here are the things that the leftists think, and I think that leftists are bad and dumb, and because leftists think, and it's like, okay, he like switches, he's like looking for like the program to run, and it's like, Destiny, leftist, progressive, bad, WEF bad, insects bad, like, yeah, it's just like, okay.
Than other people because they're more empathetic, they're more moral. You guys know what I'm talking about? Have you noticed that with the climate change people who glue?
Like, wouldn't I ever argue that I'm more moral? Like, I don't know. Again, I guess like if you want to get reductionist and say that like all things are morality. I mean, I guess we could, if you want to go really hard, we could say that, but dumb. He says moral high ground because your criticism is a moral position aren't sincere, right? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna grant that. If you want to say that, that's retarded. If you think that, you're retarded. But I know you're like have a conservative brain, so maybe. But when somebody says moral high ground or moral grandstanding, generally what they're saying is that your behavior is reprehensible and they're more moral in that regard than you. Why is it so hard to focus my camera? So like an example of like moral grandstanding might be like, I pay my employees way more than you do, right? That may be an example of like moral grandstanding, but I don't think like criticizing somebody's ideology. Nick also does this to you? Well, yeah, sure. I'm sure that it's probably, I think Nick and Zerka are probably like whispering a lot of things in Sneako's ear. So right now what I'm hearing is, right now what I'm getting a lot of is it's probably a lot of things that that Nick Fuentes and Zerka have whispered to him, and now he's kind of like repeating them because now he's, you know.
Their hands to the street, and then you have the police come and have to peel it off. How dare you? That's leftism. How dare you? How dare you not think exactly like me? Throws paint on a statue.
Like, it's so funny. He says that, how dare you not think exactly like me? But that's what he thinks, right? If you're not like him, you're immoral. If you lead alternate lifestyles, you're immoral. If you don't, you know, follow the whatever religious creed, I don't even know how he feels about Christians and shit, I'm not sure. But like, it's funny because he's the one that is of the religion that has the moral judgment. How do you avoid getting steered from the voices around you? It's a lot. There's a lot of work that goes into that. I need to make a video on that.
So if you're gonna go and say that I'm never gonna be able to get married, which is what he's saying that
I'm not saying, and he doesn't understand, when I say he's not going to be able to get married, I don't know if he understands the attack I'm making on him. The attack that I'm making is that he doesn't live a life that comports to the values that he claims to have, that he wants credit for having, and that he seems to be holding other people to. So for instance, he's on this Muslim kick so much, like, oh, but it's all so good, and blah, blah, blah. Despite, I don't even know how much he knows about Islam or any of that shit. But like, the reality is there are no Muslim fathers that would promise their daughter to a fucking man, you know, that pretends to want to have 4 wives, is like bragging about like threesomes and shit, and having girls on stream all the time, and like shitting on women and calling them all whores. Like no like reasonable father of a conservative woman is gonna like promise their daughter this guy. You're only going to the standard that you yourself are horrendously failing to meet. It's not a comparison to myself. I don't think any Muslim fathers would want their daughters marrying me.
Ever gonna be like no father's ever gonna want to marry his daughter off to me. Let's look at you. I'm sick of these moral high ground people always talking about how they're superior. All right, fine. You're gonna say that Andrew Tate's a human trafficker. You're gonna say that all the people that I like to.
Do you see the web thing? What else does Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate. Like, what does Andrew Tate have to do with any of this? What does whether or not he's a trafficker have to do with any of this? Like, why even bring that up? Like, what?
Speak to, you're gonna say that they're bad people. Let's look at you, right? You abandoned your son to play StarCraft in Miami, and so he responded again.
Actually, by then it was League of Legends. Okay.
This made him upset because like it did pretty well. He responded again, thanks, he gave you a lot of hearing, right? You abandoned your son to play StarCraft in Miami, and so he responded again. This made him upset because like it did pretty well. He responded again, thanks, he gave you a lot to think about.
First of all, none of Sneako's tweets will make me upset because they don't typically do well. Wait, does anybody have a link to the guy that showed the bots? Sneako generally he's got like the Griper assist right now. So hold on. Let me see if I can find this video. These are the likes that Sneako gets on his fucking Twitter. Bro, I swear to God, I'm like the only person on these fucking platforms that doesn't fucking bot. I think this is why podcasts that I go on do so well. I think I'm like the only person that doesn't have like a fucking botted following, like on any of my fucking platforms. Because why would I waste the money on it? But yeah, imagine like, bro, this shit is fucking wild. Like, is this what's upsetting me?
Bro.
Who's here?
Bro.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Now you know how I feel, bro. What you just said, bro. Listen, I don't want to be schizo and shit, man, but I'm telling you, everyone is botting.
They are, dude. I've met so many more people now that I know are botting on their different accounts.
Bro. You don't understand the world I've been in these last 4 months. No one believes me. Everyone is botting, and they're not just stopping on Twitch or Kick. We're talking Twitter. We're talking
Yeah, they do Instagram
Reddit.
and shit. Yeah.
No, Instagram and TikTok, that's a given. Like they can't even, if they deny that,
This is
I don't know what to
guys.
say.
Holy shit. Just
brother,
2 minutes
it's
of fucking-
Destiny, it's everywhere, bro. Like bro, I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind, Destiny. Like, I just had a conversation about you. I was going over people who I don't think do, and it was just like 2 hours ago. You were one of them.
Thanks, bud. I try
You're
my
one of the
hardest.
only ones. No, you're one of, because listen, your numbers all make sense. They go down when you change content, they go up when you do your main content, right? You have fluctuations. Your Twitter posts make sense with your size of your streams. Your core community makes sense. Your Discord's massive. Like, everything makes sense. My numbers, same thing. Everything makes sense. But if you look at some people, bro, not even some, all of them, nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. There's no nothing is proportionate. It's oh my god, I've lost my mind.
There are like people that I would see who tweet like pretty frequently who have YouTube channels like over 500,000 views, and their Twitter will be like 3,000 followers with like 500,000 subs. The No Bullshit guys, you remember him? He was one of those people. He had like Brooks or something. He had like 3,000 followers on Twitter despite using his Twitter account semi-frequently, and I think he had like almost 1 million subs on his YouTube channel, right? But yeah, people are wild.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Like people think, listen, when you're that large of a creator, my size, your size, any size, if you're 15K to 30K viewers, that's a massive amount of, that's a massive size. Do you understand? The number of people you have coming in and out daily is in the hundreds of thousands of uniques.
Yeah, for sure.
So the people that have no footprint anywhere but that stream, it makes no sense, because if you have loyal people coming from other platforms to this platform, to to the level of hundreds of thousands of uniques daily, you're going to see some sort of footprint, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram or somewhere. But There was almost no correlation. There was almost no, or whatever the word is. I haven't slept all day. You don't see it. No, bro, I'm telling you, bro, everyone is botting, and it's not just view count. It's Twitter likes, it's Reddit, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's so fucking sickening. And the worst part is, the one thing I've been battling these last 4 months is the discoverability stuff. These people who are view botting, right? The people who are, you know, doing these things, they make it so hard to make a fair discoverability system. Because, right, in a sense, they're manipulating it. And it's just, it's so fucking frustrating, bro. And no one believes me. They think I'm fucking crazy. People just think I'm crazy. Because everyone has plausible deniability, right? They just say, oh, someone's doing it to me. But it's like, bro, a harasser is not spending thousands of dollars every day for 6 years straight.
Yeah. I still like my favorite moment in Twitch history. I think you were there for this, right? My favorite moment in Twitch history was the day the view bots died. Do you remember that? It was like was it like 5 or 6 years ago? And no, it wasn't just that nobody was live. It's that people started to go live, and then we're like, oh, I feel sick today. I don't think I can stream today, guys. There were so many big streamers that turned their shit on. Masan, I remember, from Hearthstone, was like a 5-figure streamer. He had like, I think like 1,000 viewers, and he was like, oh, I'm feeling sick today, guys. Oh my God, there were so many streamers. Yeah, holy shit, that was, bro, that was the funniest fucking day in the world. A lot of flus that day. A lot of 1 and 2 day flus.
Yep. It's bad, bro. It's really fucking bad. And the worst part is, man, like, you know, it feels like people are getting rewarded from it.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost as if they're being incentivized to do it. And it just, like, it's such a shitty feeling. You know, like, I wouldn't care if it wasn't affecting me. I wouldn't care. I would just do my own thing. I know, you know, my shit's good. But it's getting to a point now in this industry where it's affecting my business, right? Because if you have 5 people that are my size around, and you have people who don't understand what you and I might understand being in the industry so long, right? About, you know, numbers and, you know, community strength, conversions, right? Because people with view bots don't have these things. They just have the number that, and they have nothing behind it. So it's like the people who don't understand that, they start equating your number with their number, but their number is all bullshit. So that's when it starts coming into my business, infecting my business, and that's why I care about it now so much, because it's just like, what the f?
Yeah, the problem with bad behavior is that oftentimes it gets socially reinforced, and unfortunately, sometimes there are social punishments for not following it. So like, for instance, like, so I'll be really critical about girls using a lot of filters on Instagram and shit, or, you know, wearing a ton of makeup or plastic surgery, right? However, it's easy for me to be critical of that, but oftentimes you get a lot of negative feedback because you're not doing what everybody else is. So yeah, there'll be like these social reinforcements that kind of encourage everybody to do the shitty behavior. Because like, do you want to be the one person not view botting and be the loser with like the low audience and shit? Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, that argument, that last part you just said, you want to be the loser that's not.
Yeah.
I feel that because I'm sitting there, right? Like, for example, me, right? You know, when I'm sitting there with 12 to 14K viewers on Kick, like, I know deep down I'm one of the 2 largest creators on the platform, right? Like, I know it. But then when I, you know, go outside myself and I look at the sidebar and it looks like I'm the 20th largest creator, yeah, it does kind of feel like shit knowing that I grind and I put in the work and I have a real 14K versus everyone else's fake 30K, right?
Yeah.
So it does feel like shit, but I'm still not going to give and fuck those pussies. But realistically, on the other end, like, I think for the filters and the things you're bringing up, my opinion on it is, I think you're right that you know, mentality where everyone's doing it and you're not. But I do have to say, that's one of those things that in the long run, I think you're fucking yourself, because
well, everybody's fucking themselves in the long run, but the social pressure is always short term, right?
Yeah, but bro, like that. Once you rely on that, that has to cause, you know, it's a band-aid solution, right, for the short term. Because in the long term, whatever insecurities you have just been intensified, in my opinion, right? Because eventually, let's say you end up meeting someone. When you meet someone in real life and they see you look completely different, we're talking head shape differences.
Yeah,
we're
but
talking
now,
eye shape
I don't know how much of these like Red Pill space you follow, but like now for a lot of these guys, like the expectation is literally that even when you're like around the house, your girl is supposed to be wearing like full on fucking makeup, like at all hours of the day and shit. So for a lot of people, they just might never expect to see somebody, you know, that's not like totally 100% kitted out, you know?
Wait, is that real?
Yes.
I'm gonna say this, and I might just be old maybe, but I prefer, like, I personally, okay, let me make a clarification. If it's somebody I care about, I prefer no makeup. Like, that's what I mean, it's up to them, whatever they want to do, I accept them as they are, but, like, I prefer no makeup if it's someone I care about. And if it's, you know, a one-night stand or some shit, then obviously, you know what I'm saying, look your best. You know what I'm saying? But, like, as far as it goes for, you know, someone I care about, I think no makeup is the way to go.
Okay.
How about you? What do you prefer? Or you don't really care? Indifferent?
No, I mean, like, I'm generally the same. But I've also, like, I've lived with, like, women my whole life, so I know what to expect, yeah. But,
yeah. Makeup's just... I mean, to be fair, I don't think makeup's an issue. Like, makeup's fine. Because, you know, I think makeup's fine. I think the filters have gone fucking out of hand.
filters and the surgery are, like, the two insane things today. Yeah.
Bro, the filters are wild. Like, listen, we're talking... Listen, when I say head shape difference, or head, like, brother, we're talking, like, completely different head shapes. For pictures versus in real life. We're talking it's a completely different human. Like those shows, Catfish from back in the day where, you know, it was a picture of a random person and the person was completely different. I'd say it's the equivalent these days of the same person with a filter showing up without the filter, right? So before it was a different person using someone else's picture. And I'd say today's equivalent is the same person using a filter. Do you understand? Versus not having one in real life. Like, that's how dramatic the filters are. Does that make sense?
Wait, hold on. Okay, where were we? I don't even remember where we were.
Again, this made him upset because, like, it did pretty well. He responded again, thanks, Seeker gave me lots to think about. Tried to get the ratio, could not get the counter ratio. So instead, he tweeted again. And
I like how, I love the bragging with the bot accounts. That's just funny. And with the whole Groiper help, too. That's pretty good.
Posted this meme again from his Discord. The left can't meme. He says, my father was never around, this is Andrew Tate, my father was never around because he was a CIA chess my father was never around because he was a CIA chess grandmaster. And that's why he made me into the strong man I am today. Fathers don't need to be there like mothers, men are better. And then Sneeko, so true, I was actually just about to say the same thing, W Tate. And then Destiny, add me on Discord. And now I'm upset. Didn't get a counter ratio, but here's why this doesn't make any sense. One, because if you're gonna equate Andrew Tate's father to the way Destiny raises his children, Andrew Tate's father was poor. Andrew Tate's father was a chess grandmaster, and he was traveling around the world playing chess to go and make a little bit of money.
No shot. Lil bro can't really, he must, there's gotta be like, he's gotta be laughing inside where he's like, ah, fuck. He's like, this, okay, never mind. I'm rebuilding the bridge with Sneeko. I'm rebuilding it. I understand Sneeko now. Sneeko is on a massive psyop to prove how mind-numbingly fucking retarded all of his followers are. It must be. There is, I don't believe any world can exist where he can make a statement that fucking retarded with that little self-awareness. There is no shot. That has to be a fucking, that has to be a troll statement. Like, his dad was broke because he had to fly around the world playing chess? What? That has to be the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. No one man can glaze that hard. There's no shot. No shot.
Master, and he was traveling around the world playing chess to go and make a little bit of money. Like, he had a job translating languages for the CIA, and some people like conspiracy, like it, but no, there's no conspiracy about that, to be honest. I've asked about it.
Oh, there's no conspiracy because he asked him and he said there was no conspiracy. I like how skeptical Sneeko is when the people are on his side. So, you know, this guy who's like imagine if it was any other person, like a leftist, who was one of the largest social media figures on the planet, who had a father that was in the CIA. Do you think Sneeko would be like, well, I know it seems sus, but like the guy came out and said that there was nothing sus, so it must not be sus. Like, imagine any other like left-leaning figure giving that kind of an answer, like, Soros told you he wasn't sus and you believed him? Jesus.
He would travel around the world to play chess to make a little bit of money for his children, and he was also there quite a bit. The difference in why it's really stupid for Destiny to equate the way he is a father by playing StarCraft in Miami, being around hoes, and then like, is because Destiny's a millionaire. You're a multi-millionaire from streaming. That's a job you could do at home with your kid. You can be in this room playing your games, well, gaming, and then your son can be over there and you see it. But no, you're all the way in Miami because you want to be fucking around with hoes, and you don't really want to be a present father.
Predator Dragon. I mean, I could fly hoes out to Nebraska if I really wanted to. I'm trying to. I think there were a few girls who came to visit me in Nebraska before. I mean, like, if you want to say that I abandoned my son, I guess it's fine. Go for it. Like, but I mean, like, to claim that like you have the same amount of career opportunities available to you in Nebraska as you do in other places is obviously not true. I mean, I waited till he was 8 or 9 to move. Like, theoretically, could I have stayed in Nebraska and probably done okay as a streamer? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a tough decision, but to claim that like just as many career opportunities exist in Nebraska, or you can do just as much from Nebraska, like I don't think that's I don't think it's the same type of thing. But hey, you know, what do I know? I'm just a streamer of 13, 14 years, you know. Why don't you ever fight the present father allegations by saying, I mean, it doesn't, nothing like, I mean, like, obviously I talk to my kid, obviously I visit my kid, I think in a week actually, or in 2 weeks, at the end of the month, he's coming over here for a week again, but like, if you don't live with him directly, like, people are gonna say it doesn't count anyway. But of course, they never apply the same arguments to Andrew Tate's dad, who travels to make no money playing chess, or the fact that, I don't remember what to say. Oh, I mean, or the fact, like, obviously I still see my kid. It's not like we never talk or never do anything, right? Or the fact that, like, you know, is a military father like an absent father or a deadbeat dad or whatever, or the fact that, like, technically deadbeat implies I'm not paying anything, ignoring the fact that I bought his mom a house and a car and I still pay child support. But I mean, like, it's whatever. Like, obviously they don't care. It's not like anybody's give a fuck about, like, the health of my kid or anything. It's just like random, whatever they can do to attack my personal life, which is, you know, fine, knock yourself out. But
Right, and I've had conversations, people saying, oh, you're making an ad hom attack, you're making an ad hom. All they do is make ad homs on me. That's all they do. All they do is criticize my morality, my decisions, what I do.
It is, I do understand Snakeo's point, but it goes into one of my frustrating things. When Snako says all people do is ad hom me, in a way that's true, but that's because Snako's, like, his ideology encompasses, like, every single part of his life. Like, he can't be a man that just talks or does one thing. It has to be everything. So everything ends up feeling like a personal attack. You know, like if you shit on my League of Legends, no, that's a bad example. That would be an ad hom. If you shit on like how good I am at Diablo, that's not like an ad hom for me because it's just playing Diablo. Like the thing that I care about the most tends to revolve around like my politics and philosophy. Although even that, attacking that wouldn't be an ad hom. Necessarily. Actually, I don't even know what the fuck he means by ad hom. I think it's just because he's like a Muslim now, or no, actually, I think it's just because he's getting secure. I think he views like every single attack is like an ad hom because every single thing he believes like somehow ties back to some way that he lives his life or whatever. So if I say like you're captive by a ton of bad ideologies, which is true, he's like that's an ad hom. That's not. I don't think that's really an ad hom, but. Destiny, he makes it sound like you could still live with Rachel and Nathan in the same house if you. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously that's not true. Even when I lived in Nebraska, until I think it was 8, we could never live in the same house. Me and Rachel will kill each other if we live together, obviously. What do you think? Oh, do you think the implication is that I just like ditched the mom and like peaced out when she was like begging me to stay? Do you think that's what he's implying? I don't know. Like I said, like these guys don't even like know anything about like relationships or families. Like whether it's, I'm not like, I don't really usually seriously contemplate his critiques on my lifestyle.
So if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna constantly do that shit on me, say I'm not gonna be able to get married, say that I'm a fake Muslim, say that I'm drinking. Say that
yeah, fake Muslim and drinking, these aren't like personal attacks. These are things that you're very, very, very public about, that you're very publicly contradicting yourself on, right? Like a more personal thing would be like, why do you shit on Xena whenever you go on every podcast? Why are you too ashamed to say that she's your girlfriend, despite the fact that she stands you like harder than any girl I've ever seen stand a man in my entire life? Like, I've never seen a more sad, one-sided like show of affection that he seems to be okay, like perpetually continuing for the entirety of his online career. And I think that's probably one of the more disgusting things that I know about on a personal level. Like, if we were to mine that would be kind of an ad hom. Although I don't even know if that would be an ad hom because Xena is like publicly out there, publicly talking about like her undying love and affection, all that shit for Sigo too. But yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Liar, all this stuff. What the f is going on with your life? I called out Aiden today too. Like, I could be drinking and gambling. I'm in the gym. I'm actually doing a self-improvement thing. I'm actually quitting things. I'm actually praying. Destiny, I'm actually working on becoming the best man I could possibly be so I can raise a family, so I can get married. These things are extremely important to me. So if you're gonna criticize that, what the f are you doing?
What is he working on that's not in the direct service of his career? Because it kind of seems to me like all he's generally working on is like career stuff. This guy is one of the leanest people I've ever seen in my life. He weighs less than I do. But he kind of trains, but like what, for Instagram pictures? I mean, like that's what it seems like. So he trains a little bit, but he does it like in different countries and different gyms so they can like make content for his Instagram. What is he working on like personally? That is like actually like a sacrifice. It's not like in the service of just growing his career, you know? No, but I mean like, and again, like self-improvement, all of that is fine. Like that's okay. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems like everything he does is like in the service of like furthering his career shit. Like even the Muslim shit, which is one of the reasons why I'm so critical of it. Like if he would start talking about the Quran more or talking about like actual Muslim values and not just the ones that happen to be benefiting him during a particular online debate, I might, yeah, I might be more warm to the idea that he's like pursuing a good lifestyle, you know?
You are not the same as Andrew Tate's father. You are a multi-millionaire who just plays video games. Get a room and a crib, set up your little factorial bullshit, do your debates and you know, f your dudes on Grindr in the car, and then have your son there. If you're gonna play, I'm not gonna say what you should do as a father, but if you're gonna criticize me, let's look at you. That's fair.
Like, meanwhile, Sneeko is busy, like, trying to cry to everybody about how chaste he is, about how holy he is, about how well, like, and then meanwhile, he's, like, having threesomes with fresh and fit girls. The worst parts of my life are accessible for every single person to have their opinion on, which is a little annoying, but at the end of the day, like, for the most part, I think I do okay.
Yes or no? Yes or no? And also, he lost to Nick, so he's upset right now.
How does him being small take away from the fact that he is training? Because I don't know if he actually does train. I think that it feels like he goes to countries, he records himself in like the Instagram gyms, and then he posts the pictures, and then he goes on to the next place. Like that's what it seems like to me. Like supposedly he's been training for a year. He's a young dude. He seems like pretty physically like healthy, but I don't know if he's like actually does it. I feel like he just does it for the Instagram pictures, and then he goes on to the next thing. Right? Why did he, when he was looking for a fight so much, why did he avoid fighting the Brandon guy? Right? That would have been a perfect grudge match. I'm pretty sure people were offering a lot of money to see him actually do that fight, but he completely ducked it. Why? And then I think in the meanwhile, who was he calling out? Who was he calling out on top of that? He was calling out Charlie, that he's like 2 feet taller than? Like, how does that, I don't know. All of it feels like a performance to me. All of this feels like a performance to me. Like, you do it so that you look good on social media, get clout.
Sick of this. I don't know if is that too far? Yes or no? Oh, I said yes, and now people are gonna be able to say no. So it's going back and forth. And then I think I got the. Did I get the counter ratio?
Can I get
Close.
the?
Chat, we
Did
need
I
to
get
like
the?
the sweet Nick
I
won.
like how we horseshoed back to the lefties now. Did I get the counter?
It's close. Like this up. It's close without the whatever. Funny how he's so liberal, but he moved to Florida to abandon his son instead of one of his liberal heavens like California, New York. Yeah, the leftists, it's very.
Even his thing. First of all, I did move to California. I didn't move to Miami initially. I like how he's about to go on a whole tangent because it like proves his point when he doesn't even have the fact right. It's like the exact fucking opposite of. It's literally the exact fucking opposite of what he's about to say. Like, what the fuck?
Funny too, how like Hasanabi, for example, the socialist communist, lives in a giant mansion in LA, talking about how we should dismantle the 1%, that we need to give the money to the working class, and then his way of giving money to the working class is paying for a chef, is paying for a Filipino illegal immigrant to wash his car in the driveway.
Isn't he doing the exact same thing? He's moral grandstanding. Like, yeah, and again, like, the moral grandstanding doesn't make sense. I don't typically judge people on their personal lives. The thing, like, if you want to attack me on, like, grandstanding, you'd have to find, like, epistemic flaws or hypocrisies, because that's probably where, so, like, for instance, Destiny, you tell people to do good research, but, like, you're very biased, or, like, you're in an echo chamber, blah, blah, blah. Like, that would probably be the stuff that's, like, more relevant than saying, like, you know, like, here's your family life or whatever, because, again, I just don't typically mind people's like personal lives for hypocrisy. I mean, like obviously I'll point out like hypocrisies in your moral systems and stuff, but he views that as like a personal attack. It's not a personal attack to say like here are some things that you purportedly believe but I think it's inconsistent with that or that. Like the things I just said about like Xena and the threesomes and shit, those would be personal attacks. But I think for a lot of people, either one, nobody sees that difference, and I'm literally the only person on the planet that does, or they're just being intentionally obtuse because they want to pretend that everything is a personal attack. So, I don't know.
That's their version. Call Hunter Biden, no. Boxing is haram? Okay, well, I mean, so is music, but just, is boxing really haram? Was Khabib? Is it, so Khabib can do takedowns, but he can't box, and it's haram? Refresh the ratio? Yeah, you guys need to step your game up on my Twitter. But even then, when it comes to Twitter, for example, and where I don't think I get the credit I deserve, like, I'm still, look at me, I'm trending right now. Look at me, look at me! Chris from Rumble, look at all these Rumble people. Bro, trending on Twitter, banned, canceled. Proof that you can, it's not haram? Yeah, I see back and forth about whether boxing is haram. Trending on Twitter. Still, I was able to pivot pretty well from cancellation. This is a good clip, I'm gonna play this.
So far, our ambition. Look at the most successful humans of all time. They were all ambitious and visionary. Most teenagers are like this. We have our entire futures ahead of us. And at this moment in our lives, our adult life is approaching. So far, our entire lives have been devoted to learning what it takes to become a successful adult. And as a teenager, this is finally right around the corner. We don't have anything holding us back. Kids, rent, taxes, any actual responsibilities. If we put our mind to it, we can become whatever we want in 5 years. But like I said, 80% of us won't. That's how life works. People throw the term selling out a lot. And I believe that if you accept a dead-end fucking job to pay your bills, you're selling out. It's not like you can accomplish your dreams later on in life. This is something you can't procrastinate. You actually have to do it. Those conversations you have when you're 40 about what could have been, should have been. You only live once, and no matter what rap lyrics will tell you, that doesn't mean getting hammered out of your mind every Friday.
Hey, I was alcohol pilled back at 14.
Do you want to finish your life with regret? Then just get off your ass and f***ing do something. Getting this far on YouTube was a dream, and I f***ing did it. What have you done? This isn't a rhetorical question. What have you done with your life?
I have more trips coming up. Chad, where do you think around the world that you think I should travel to? Because we're young and we need more life experience. The one thing that bothers me about getting money young and especially talking to like people that are older than me, like Zerka and Myron, Sartorial, Tate, is they'll think that people like me, and I actually think a lot of it is Aiden, for example, like people like him make it seem like you don't put in any work in order to get to the point you are. You're just a young millionaire and you become a dipshit. Go to Afghanistan, Antarctica. I'm not going to. Antarctica, I would go. Antarctica, I want to go to I have a trip to Colombia planned, actually. India, Palestine. I want to go to all these places. They'll try to undermine the work you do because you you're young and rich, and so everything is handed to you. And that's why I think it's extremely important. Chad, once you
I hate that his view of having a fulfilled life is f***ing traveling and money. It feels so backwards. It really does too, and it's really funny to watch because typically, if you're traveling in like a good way, you're traveling as you're trying to meet other people and expand your worldview. But Sneakos has narrowed so much. So it's like he's doing everything completely backwards. Like it felt like when he was like a random kid that was 16 years old playing COD or whatever in his room, it felt like he had a more open point of view about the world or a more expanded point of view about other people. But as he's traveled more and met more people, he's become more narrow-minded. Like, this is the way you gotta live your life, and the liberals are fucking poison you, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Jesus, like, what are you doing when you're traveling? Are you talking to anybody? Or are you just going to the Instagram gyms and posting, like, a picture of you, hitting the pads for 120 seconds, and then, like, clicking out, going to a hotel and f***ing a new chick? Like, what are you actually doing in these other countries? When you say you're talking to other people, are you actually, like, getting out and, like, talking to people? Or are you and your cameraman going to visit the guy you agreed to do a podcast with, and then sitting down, doing a show, getting the views, and then, like, hopping on a flight to go to the next country? Like, it's hard. I mean, I would hope. I'm sure he's talking to some people. I mean, there must be some kind of, like, cultural interflow that happens into your brain, like, even if you don't want it to, but, like, it's so bizarre to me that his point of view about the world has become so much more narrow and closed off as he's traveled to more different places. Yeah, but I don't know. Based on like some of the videos he's posted so far, it seems like he's just meeting people in other countries that already agrees with him. So he has like the illusion of like being traveled. But in reality, like I can message my fans all over the world, go visit 50 different countries and not hear a single different point of view, depending on how you do it. But maybe you're not as convincing as you think, Destiny. Lim Mayo. I'm about as convincing as I think. I don't know what you mean. Like, the problem is I can't compete with ideologies and cults,
right? Like the problem is that like the answers that I'll give you, especially when it comes to epistemology, it's not gonna be fun, right? Like how do you know, and most of the answers I give are like pretty boring. But if you look at most things in life, like most of them are pretty boring. If some guy's got a guide, or got a guide called like Get Ripped in 2 Easy Steps, it's probably not going to be a good guide. If somebody's got like three tricks to losing weight, probably not going to be a very good guide. If somebody has like one book that you need for all the answers in life, probably not going to be a very good book. If somebody's telling you ignore all the mainstream media and get all your information from Tim Pool, right? Probably not going to be very good information. Like the reality is, like if you want to be like epistemically grounded, and if you want to be like I don't know, like even ethically morally grounded, probably takes some decent level of like exploration, some decent level of introspection, a lot of trial and error, a lot of different cognitive tools that we use to be inquisitive about our own minds. But none of it is going to be like as attractive or sexy as talking about the Matrix. That's just a really hard echo chamber to break somebody out of. Because the Andrew Tate lifestyle and all these guys, like the Jewish question, all that shit, like it feels cool to think that life is a Marvel movie, that there is a big bad guy at the end of the tunnel, and he's the one who's, all of society's ills can be blamed on. Because that's a very satisfying answer. I don't know if my style of questioning or whatever could ever compete with that, but I don't know if I would try to compete with that. I typically don't. This is why I usually tell people, like I'm not here to. I'm very rarely am I ever here to like coach somebody through life. If somebody wants a lot of help in life, I'll give it to them. If somebody's truly like, yeah, Destiny, like, can you help me? Blah, 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 like, I'll do it. But for the most part, I don't, because most people don't want that. Most people feel like they have all their shit figured out and they don't want to hear other shit that I have to say, which is fine. I'm okay with that. People are free to explore and do what they want. Like there's shit that I'm still figuring out, so I don't know all the answers, except for how to f your mom in every single style possible. I know all those answers. Would you actually help someone out who's like that with you 24/7? It seems like needy people like that would be exhausting. Well, no, I mean, like if somebody asks me legitimate questions, like I'll usually try to provide like guidance or a perspective or whatever. But like most people don't. Like I'm not going to be like having like Sneeko doesn't care about my perspective of the world. It's not sexy enough for him, right? It's not like influencer ready. It's not made for TikTok. It's not digestible in 30-second clips, and it doesn't leave you feeling immediately good and empowered the second you walk away. Like any journey requires a level. I'm gonna be using the epistemic for a long time. I'm sorry. This is like my new buzzword. Like to epistemically humble yourself is a really shitty process. It doesn't feel good to be like, maybe the things that I believed were wrong, or maybe my ideology that I had before is flawed, or maybe like the answers to the world are a little bit less satisfactory than I want, or maybe there are some news sources that I've listened to that have lied to me. Or like that's not a good feeling, right? It's not a good feeling for me even. It's not good to say like, yeah, the New York Times or the Washington Post do get quite a bit long. That's not cool. It doesn't feel good to like have mainstream media write lies about you. It doesn't feel good to admit that like, yeah, I used to be super progressive and some of these people are crazy. It doesn't feel good to be like, the research said this, but now it actually points to something different. Yeah. Those things don't feel good. It feels way better to be able to say there's a conspiracy, there's a rigging, there's a matrix, there's a machine, there's a deep state. Like those things just feel way better. You get in your echo chamber, you just, everybody resonates the same points of view. And then even the things, this has always been one of my big criticisms of Red Pill. Even when they give you harsh truths, they're not actually harsh truths at all. Usually it's like empowerment that's just disguised in a kind of a mean message. Like a Red Pill message or any harsh truth is never actually like, oh, this is like a really rough way of the world. Usually it's like disguised to be empowering as well. Like, oh, like, you're not shit unless you do something for yourself, or like you're not gonna be able to make it unless you take control of your life, and like, nobody's gonna help you unless you do the blah, blah. Like it sounds like a harsh truth, but most of the messages are empowering and actually feel like really good. I think that's why people gravitate to them so much. But hey, who am I to say?
Are able to start a business, once you're able to become financially independent and you can do whatever you want, I think it's important to put yourself in difficult situations and immediately avoid degeneracy. I think it's
like,
not...
look at the way that he refers to other lifestyles. How are you going to call other lifestyles degenerate and then accuse other people of moral grandstanding? The word degenerate almost begs a version of moral grandstanding. Degeneracy begs the idea that you know better than others how to live. Degeneracy begs that you are on a high ground compared to people that live in another way. How could you call anything degenerate and then say, are you high grounding me? Like, it's so silly. It's all like virtue signaling and optics points, right?
Ideally, you would never ever be a degenerate, but I think most men need to get it out of their system. Just that's the reality. But I think it's good to do it in your like late teens, early 20s. You do the partying thing, you get into a couple fights, you fuck some girls, you have a problem, maybe you catch the clap. You know what I'm saying? You go through those experiences, you go through a breakup. I think when you're 20, 21, I see so many guys like this, they obsess over a woman. Do you guys know, type of one of you know a guy like this? In their early 20s, they get into a relationship that they're obsessed with this girl nonstop. Type of one if you know a guy like this, or if you're a guy like this. And then nonstop, you're just always fiending about this girl. You're always texting her, you're giving her all your energy, you're always buying her gifts. That girl ends up consuming your life because you want to make her happy. And then you get out of that, and eventually you realize maybe it takes a year, maybe it takes 2 years, maybe it takes 3. You realize that you...
Wait, is that true? Sneeko was on Heel Mike's stream, hanging out with and holding hands with some OnlyFans girl in her underwear 2 days ago. Wait, bullshit. Linker, I don't believe you.
Cannot make a girl happy. You can't make anyone happy. Someone has to be happy, and you need to be happy, and then you compliment each other and make each other happier. But you cannot make somebody happy. In your early 20s, you get in a relationship with a girl who's upset, who's psyoped by TikTok, who's on birth control, and she's always hormonal, and she expects the world from this one guy, and he ends up consuming all of his energy, pouring into her.
Like, listen to how bot that advice is. Like, imagine you're trying to go to some dude. Like, the real people, the real victims here are the people that take Sneaker's advice seriously on fucking anything, right? Like, what's wrong with my girl? Well, she's been psyoped by TikTok and she's on birth control, so her hormones are crazy. Like, tell me you've never been in a relationship and had any real problems in a relationship without actually saying it. Like, what is that? That's what you think problems in a relationship are women that have been psyoped by TikTok? Like, what? Do you think he's gonna give her a big speech about how degenerate and unethical her lifestyle is? He's pretty autistic, he might. It's okay, refuse to shake their hands? Wait, didn't he?
It's okay, but what do you have an attitude about?
I don't have an attitude.
Like, and it's so, it's cringy because I can see it. It's cringy because I can see it. Like, it's just like, this is like every young man's dream is validation from women. The most important thing to an insecure man is the approval of any woman in the room, right? So that's why anytime these guys, it's always gotta be like, please, like, come near me, like, honestly, like, trust me. More than a Bugatti, more than $1 million, what insecure men desire more than anything else in the universe is the approval of any woman ever.
Said, who's more attractive between the two of us?
Zerka?
Zerka? Why is Zerka more attractive?
I don't know, he's my type. You?
What's your type?
I mean, just my type. I just...
What? No, this is the content. Okay, but what's your type?
I mean, he's a man.
So what am I? What am I?
It's just not my type. That's it.
Why am I not? Wait. Why am I not your type?
Because he looks like my type. You just don't look like my type. I mean, I like big guys, you know?
Okay.
You are different.
I'm different? Wait, how tall are you? Okay, what do you mean big guys?
No, she's talking about Asian penis syndrome.
What the? You talk about small penis all the time. What are you talking about?
Chill,
Wait, how tall are you? Stand up next to me. Are you even like, I can mock you just to the fact that he's big. Wait, stand up.
You see how the shirt fits on him and on you?
It's just this shirt. It's just this type of shirt.
Whoa.
Usually, if I had a...
I didn't tell it bad. It's just...
Hey, you're saying go shopping.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the content. Now, see, now the chat's gonna be like, oh my god, that's tough. Sneeko's crying. It's gonna get clipped. That's better than the millennial. Oh, what do you think about Stalin, huh? You said that I need a lot of patience to talk to you.
Yeah. You know.
Okay. What's difficult to get to know about you?
Why? Give me the fucking keys.
Why? What's your role? Break them down.
Sneeko, you just visit.
How do I avoid that feeling? Start f***ing your mom, and then you don't need any other women. Haha, woo yeah!
And then when our channels were dying, because
What happened? There's no girls in here. Where did everybody go?
I don't know.
Well, actually, I think I'm
You like teenagers?
I love them. How old are you?
Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but in Islam, isn't there no purpose for single women and single men to ever hang out with each other unless it's on like a sanctioned like date? Like, aren't men and women supposed to be socializing in different areas, or is that just only like a fundamentalist point of view? Does anybody know?
I thought that in Islam it was considered, I don't know if it's haram or not, for like men and women shouldn't be going to social functions together. Like, did this guy? Like, it's almost like Sneeko. It's almost like Sneeko converted to being a cultural Muslim. Is that a thing? Can you do that? Is that possible? Like, it's so cringe, but I don't know. Sorry. Please tell me more about our degenerate lifestyles, my friend.
To make her, to try to prove to her that you're a good guy, and you can't do that. I mean, the best way to realize you can't do that is to go through it. Elon tweeted, "Yeah, I want to check that out." You guys know what I'm talking about? I know so many guys in their 2021, and they're going through that right now. I would say Salim just kind of got over that. Steezy's kind of getting through that now. I went through that. And then you use that heartbreak. And what's a really defining moment in a man's life is figuring out how to pivot and become better after that. Because one, you can go down or incel rap. That's when Morpheus actually offers you the pills. You can take the black hip pill, be doomed forever. Red pill, become filled with rage, and then eventually accept God. Blue pill, you can dye your hair blue and then just become an absolute degenerate and start opening up Grindr. But that's a really defining moment, and it takes a while to get over. So I think you should get that over in your early 20s, late teens. But then once you get over that, really focus on what you're supposed to do. So once you get over that, and I really want this for everybody in the chat watching. I don't just want this to be a stream where we're doing bullshit. Once you're able to start your own business, you have employees, everything is running for yourself. You're actively making income, you're always working.
Like, this is like the most like I feel like I'm listening to ChatGPT advice right now, right? Like, okay, if you have a girl and you're obsessed with her, you're gonna take some time and get over it, and then eventually you'll have a business with some employees and find God and don't be an incel and like what is the advice here?
You need to put yourself in situations where you can experience life more and you continue to grow even though you're rich. Because a lot of the process
now the advice for rich people
to get better is going through hardships and going through struggle. And if you become rich early, if you become a millionaire in your 20s, it's going to be difficult because of the temptations everywhere. Now you're rich, girls want you. You could easily not work.
Thank God for that huge swath of Sneeko's audience that is rich. Please tell me. Okay, once I'm rich, how do I avoid becoming a bad person? Please tell me.
And you could become a degenerate. You don't need to focus on the traditional ways that men go through the rite of passage of becoming made men. And so I'm at this. Like, I make money. And so what do I do in order to continue to mature and become better every day? So by the time I'm 30, by the time I get married and want to have kids, that I'm a competent man who hasn't been taken advantage of my whole life. Because you know all these NFT guys, Tate talks about this all the time, the DNGs, the dorks. I've met a lot of these people, like these NFT crypto guys who make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they have no idea how the world works, and their reward systems are so messed up because everybody wants to be around them, not because of anything that they offer, but because of the money that they have. And so you want to be able to avoid that problem and not get taken advantage of. Raw Fridge, thank you for the 10. Big respect, Sneeko, 27 years old, living in northern Jordan with 2 wives and 6 kids. That's what I'm talking about. W Raw Fridge, 27 years old, living in northern Jordan with 2 wives and 6 kids. 7th on the way. Come visit, we'll show you around, brother. Mashallah, I want to come. I want to come to Jordan. How the fuck do you manage that? 2 wives and 6 kids. That's pretty ideal. 4 seems like a lot of work. 2 or 3.
Bro, you don't even manage 1 correctly. What the fuck?
Experience it would make it closer to Allah.
Why don't you start with 1 and work from there?
So yeah, I want to continue traveling, seeing the world, and doing all the things that. And that's why I think it's important to do things like fighting and training and putting yourself in a situation. Am I looping? I'm looping, chat. Okay.
What do you think Sneeko will be in 5 to 10 years? I don't know. It depends on which other man is popular on the internet at that point. How do you avoid having a rational thought process captured by ideology? It seems like that's what's happening to Sneeko. I don't know. We should like make a video on that at some point. Oh, I posted something in my chat asking how people got out of their echo chambers. But when I was reading through the responses, it seemed like
I don't know how many people were like actually legitimately stuck in echo chambers versus we're just like kind of in, just like didn't have access to much information. You and Sneaker do a live debate today? I mean, maybe if he wants to, but there's just not much to debate. Like he doesn't have much. There's not much like going on there. How did oh, did Forson's run end? I'm trying to figure out, how did Quinn die when he was in one of these bubbles at the end? I'm so curious now. For me, it was hitting rock bottom emotionally. It forced me to in a position to reconsider what I believed and why it wasn't working. Yeah, I think in the paper I read, they talk about something called like a total social, I think it was a total social epistemic reboot, where somehow what a person has to do is they have to say, okay, I'm gonna start from a position of resetting everybody to neutral, but trying to figure out like from here, like let me read a bunch of things and see who I trust and like move in that direction. But the problem is that like, especially when you're in an echo chamber, you have a lot of assumptions that are built on a lot of assumptions that are built on a lot of assumptions. So even if you think you're resetting everything, it's sort of like, okay, fine, fuck it. I'm gonna read Fox News and I'm gonna read CNN and I'm gonna see what's up. Like there might still be a lot of things working underneath the hood that are still kind of like poisoning your thought process, right? I think the guy in that paper talks about Descartes' Meditations. Was that the book where he did the like I think therefore I am, like trying to peel back like all of these like fundamental assumptions that have kind of like poisoned all of his other thoughts or whatever. This sounds like something only 0.1% of humans ever get to like. Yeah, it's really hard. I imagine it's very difficult. Difficult to almost impossible. Is Amy the next bridge burning?
Amy?
Yeah.
What are the odds that he has actually done the crimes?
I think close to 0%. I believe that he is innocent. I think when people cannot control you, they will try to control the perception of you. And that has been evident many times throughout media. We really don't need to look for too many other examples to see that this has happened. I do agree with what you said. For sure, maybe there are some questionable things with the webcam business, but conflating that with real human trafficking is spitting on the faces of the people who actually suffered at the hand of that terrible affliction. You cannot conflate the two.
Well said. Well said. Very well said.
Yeah.
For a lot of these things, it's literally just, and I do this every time when I have a conversation with people, and I think almost all of them have crumbled. It doesn't matter what you think trafficking is or what you think trafficking, like we just need to look up, here's the definition of human trafficking. Does it count as human trafficking? And then you're done. Boom, boom, boom. A lot of people have like personal feelings about what they think should or shouldn't be human trafficking, but I mean, it doesn't matter what you think it should or shouldn't be. Ooh, bro, my factory takes forever. You actually have to buy tickets? Like a lot of people think it's only human trafficking if a lot of people think it's only human trafficking if you're like capturing somebody with a fucking gun or some shit, or like beating the shit out of somebody. Yeah. Doesn't this go back to the whole discussion about Tate and counter arguing an entire worldview? It seems hard to do that unless you can counter like 50 different consistent beliefs backed by anecdotal evidence. I mean, it's hard for sure. It's hard. I don't know a good way out. I got really lucky in that for whatever reason, well, but I could be in an echo chamber now and just not be aware of it. I think through a lot of luck, I think I discovered very good epistemic practices when I was a teenager. This was like here were a couple things that happened. I went from being very Catholic to gradually becoming an atheist. And on my journey from Catholic to atheist, obviously there's a whole bunch of metaphysical, ethical, and epistemic things that you leave. Your understanding of the world, your understanding of ethics, your understanding of truth, right? You lose a lot from going from being religious to atheist. So I started reading, and I got a friend recommended me, I believe it was the short story Anthem, the guy that discovers the word ego at the end, and then it was Atlas Shrugged with our brave Huron, and then I think it was a couple other random writings of Ayn Rand and objectivism. And Ayn Rand and objectivism was like, I was fully 100% bought in immediately. It was like, oh my God, enlightened self-interest, capitalism, this is like the best, this is the most base shit in the world, holy fuck. Yeah, I was completely and totally captivated by this ideology. But then what happened was I realized after, I think like 6 months, I paused for a moment and I was like, man, I'm only like 17, 18, and I haven't spent a lot of time in the world. And I feel like
Oh, I also read The Stranger by Camus, and then we had to read, I think it was Cat's Cradle and Slaughterhouse 5 by Vonnegut. And I think there was one other guy that we read. I read a lot. My AP English 4 class was insane. But what I noticed was, like, as I read these authors, as soon as I read them, I was fully bought into everything they said. I was like, oh my god, like Camus and absurdism and like the Sisyphean fucking rock, like 100%, the Vonnegut and all this like crazy, like all of this I completely totally bought into. And after a moment, I took a step back and I realized, you know, because I'm young, if any sufficiently educated philosopher writes me anything, I'd probably just believe it, because I'm a young person and these guys spend their whole lives like practicing their philosophy. So if I'm gonna tread in any new philosophical waters, I should probably tread with not just a lot of humility, but a lot of caution as well, rather than assume that everything a person is saying. And for some reason, like, I figured that out really early on in life, and that has like stuck with me very hard, that like I need to have some fixed internal rubric or schema by which I decide what I think is good or bad in the world, rather than just like I read an author like, oh my god, I believe all of this. Because it was very easy for me in the course of like 9 months, bro. I bounced between so many authors, like, oh my god, this is the best shit ever, I believe this, and oh my god, I was like, okay, yeah, fuck, I can't, like, and then I realized, like, I'm actually a fucking child, I'm fucking retarded. So yeah, I don't know, unless the last thing you heard was Destiny, then believe me. Sneeko isn't shredded nor ripped, he's just skinny. I think he's pretty shredded. I think he seems very lean. Like, if you look at his pictures, he doesn't look, I don't think he looks like, he's not like skinny fat. I don't think I would say that at all. I think he looks relatively lean, at least from the IG stories and shit I saw. Gang gang, gang gang. Ice cream, yummy. Dude, doing that for like an hour seems like it would be excruciating. Holy fuck.
Позбивались тут в стае. Ну, точно звери, по цвету шкуры. Одни как разбойничали, так и разбойничают. Другие то ли нас от зоны, то ли зону от нас охраняют. Солдаты, блин, тоже. Человека им шлепнуть, что высморкаться. А колбасу и батоны нынче хреновые делать стали. Пожрать бы чего хорошего. Так ведь нету. Ничего, ничего. Нормалек, прорвемся. Не зря же я тут вон сколько неба копчу. Я и друганы мои прорвемся. Фу, блин. И никого на горизонте. Вот и ладушки. Показывай, чем зона наградила. Ну, привет. Эй, ну вы как дети прямо. Опять дырка.
За полночь, и мне осталось 3 пути. Не один ли без? Куда ступать, зачем идти? Опустились руки, поднялись
Счастливо,
корни.
не болей.
Монету на удачу, руку черт не дерни.
Вот.
Первая дорога, сидеть, ждать смирно. скажу ни слова, он у каждого свой, раз и готово. А том же все просто, знаю телефона провода, это третий путь, будет всем всегда, всегда. говорится.
Ничего, нормалек. Прорвемся. Не зря же я тут вон сколько неба копчу. И я, и друганы мои. Прорвемся. Нет, от судьбы точно никуда не скроешься. Что на роду написано, так оно и будет. Не учатся ничему некоторые и учиться не хотят. Кино американского насмотрелись или крышу срывает от жадности. Ты ему про аномалии, он тебе про хабар. Ни о чем думать не хотят, кроме бабок, пока кишки по веткам не разбросает. Опять сапожищи хреновые подсунули. Что у них совсем совести нету у этих? За неделю подошве гоплык.
Найдешь артефакты? Заглядывай, посмотрим.
Ну, я слушаю.
Нет, от судьбы точно никуда не скроешься. Что на роду написано, так оно и будет. Опять сапожищи хреновые подсунули. Что у них совсем совести нету у этих? За неделю подошве гоплык. Неплохо, неплохо. За одну ходку 2 ночные звезды. Если так и дальше пойдет, в гробу я видал ваш хваленый клондайк. Ёлы-палы, ну надо же, вчера Припять видел. Вот так вот, своими глазами. Сказал бы, кто месяц назад, ни за что б не поверил.
Что мы
что расскажешь? Слушаю тебя.
хрипоты до слез. Москва, Владивосток и обратно, где запад, где восток. Непонятно, где север, а где юг. Да и ладно, здесь родина моя. Вокруг Москва, Владивосток, все знакомо и на душе восторг. Здесь я дома, мне каждый дорог, здесь уголок. Москва, Владивосток.
общем, выкладывай.
Я закрою глаза, я забуду обиды, я прощу даже то, что не стоит прощать.
Приходите в мой дом, мои двери открыты, буду песни вам петь и вином угощать.
Приходите в мой дом, мои двери открыты, буду песни вам петь и вином угощать.
Буду песни вам петь про судьбу и разлуку,
Про веселую жизнь
и нелепую смерть.
и как прежде в глаза мы посмотрим друг другу, и, конечно, еще мне захочется спеть, и как прежде в глаза мы посмотрим друг другу, и, конечно, еще мне захочется спеть. И когда я спою, до слезы до рассвета будет время дрожать на звенящей струне.
А я буду вам петь и надеяться где-то, что не скажете худо никогда во мне.
А я буду вам петь и надеяться где-то, что не скажете худо никогда обо мне. Я закрою глаза, я обиды забуду, я прощу все, что можно, и все, что нельзя.
Но другим никогда, видит Бог, я не буду. Если что-то не так, вы простите меня.
Но другой никогда, никогда я не буду. Если что-то не так,
Вы простите.
вы простите меня.
Ну, привет. Здорово, дружище.
Ты...
Удачи тебе. Да-да-да, я слушаю.
Чего расскажешь хорошего? Время дорого. Рассказывай. Какие новости? Ну, здорово. Завалиться бы сейчас под них.
Время дорого. Рассказывай.